that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios. Proud
to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 33 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Iranian state media confirming that its supreme leader, Ayatollah al-Khamenei, was killed in a major attack by the U.S. and Israel. 86-year-old was killed in an airstrike targeting his compound in downtown Tehran, the Iranian capital. Now, President Trump has warned that, quote, heavy and pinpoint bombing will continue over the next days and beyond, all part of actions being taken justified as necessary to disable Iran's nuclear capabilities. Trump has also said there could be U.S. casualties as a result of the attacks due to Iran's own counter-assaults. Now, Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard has threatened to launch its, quote, most intense offensive operation ever, end quote, targeting Israeli and American bases. The attacks on Iran by the U.S. and Israel have received mixed feedback. There were some protesters in Oakland Saturday protesting Trump's decision to attack Iran. This audio courtesy of KDKA-TV.
We're here standing against Trump's completely illegal war against Iran and calling for an immediate end to it. I was appalled and dismayed, but he has been sending our troops, our siblings, into the Middle East for weeks now, and so we are expecting something like this was going to happen.
Others are in support of the U.S. attacking Iran, including Democratic Senator John Fetterman, who said that what's known as Operation Epic Fury shows that Trump is, quote, willing to do what's right and necessary to produce real peace in the region, end quote. Stay with News Radio KDK for more on this developing story. Pittsburgh police say 2 people were accidentally shot Saturday afternoon inside of a vehicle in the Hill District. An early investigation revealed that an adult male's gun accidentally discharged on Robert Street while it was in his lap in his vehicle, striking himself in the leg and another man in the knee inside the vehicle. They arrived at the hospital by private means or in stable condition at this hour. A man is in critical condition after he was struck by a vehicle overnight in Beltshoover. Pittsburgh police are investigating the incident as a hit and run. They say the incident happened around 2 this morning on West Warrington Avenue. Police still searching for the driver of the vehicle that struck the man. KDK Radio News time is 11:02 now. We've got the AccuWeather forecast coming up.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 20% and get financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Elevate your sleep experience with an adjustable bed and make everyday activities like reading, watching TV, and working in bed more comfortable. At the Original Mattress Factory, we know not all adjustable beds are created equal. You want one that has the features you actually need, like anti-snore and zero-gravity positions. We offer high-quality adjustable bases paired with a hand-built mattress, all at a factory direct value. And we have product in stock and ready when you are. Visit an OMF location to elevate your sleep experience today.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
We will have clouds giving way to some sun today. It'll be much colder with a high of 39. Cold tonight, low down to 19, and then breaks with sunshine tomorrow with a high of 44. Rain and drizzle Tuesday, high up to 51. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Rinney, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
The United States achieved a historic first at the 2026 Winter Olympics by winning gold medals in both men's and women's hockey in the same year. We're proud to point out several players with Pittsburgh connections were on both teams. Vincent Trocheck is a Mount Lebanon native who grew up playing the game here as a boy. JT Miller is from East Palestine, Ohio, and played youth hockey here when his family lived in Coriopolis. Both men played for the New York Rangers. On the U.S. women's team, goaltender Ava McNaughton is from Seven Fields and played in the Penn's Elite program. Another goalie, Gwyneth Phillips, played hockey at Shadyside Academy. Two more players, Layla Edwards and Hannah Bilka, played in the Penn's Elite program as well. It wasn't long ago U.S. players could not compete with Canadians. Few made it to professional hockey. Now the quality of youth hockey being played in the Pittsburgh area is impressive. Credit goes to Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby for generating interest in the sport and fostering its growth. The same men transformed the Penguins and won 5 Stanley Cups. Today, Pittsburgh can take pride in the development of 6 players who won Olympic gold.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
You know, you can take the kid out of Pittsburgh, but you can't keep the Pittsburgh out of the kid. He's all grown up, but he's Joe Giordano, IMG Academy, former Pitt Panther baseball coach. He joins us now. And, Coach, it's great to have you here today on KDKA, and we're going to get him in the mix in just a moment. But I have to ask you, how nice is it to have baseball back again?
It is wonderful. It just coming back from West Virginia on coming back from Indianapolis on Friday, go past the Wild Things Stadium, and there was a ball game going on, and it was just like hope springs eternal, right? The sun shines out. All the kids are practicing. My son-in-law coaching at Chartiers Valley had an outside practice yesterday. I love this time of year. Got my golf club shined out, ready to go. Little cleanup of the backyard yesterday. Some backyard pickleball yesterday. And sunshine today. This is good stuff.
All right, let's get to the coach, the man, the myth, the legend, and he, of course, longtime Pitt Panther baseball coach. And, you know, Coach, I was thinking about you today that if this Connor Griffin kid would be down that timeline that most of us have an opportunity that are decent baseball players to play D1 baseball, he'd be either a freshman or a sophomore. So even though he got 2 homers that day and he's kind of hit and miss since, just to be able to do what he's done at this age, you just got to talk about the ability that this young man has to be able to leapfrog all of that stuff that is Division I baseball, to have an opportunity to go to the big leagues and actually make something stick. Pretty impressive stuff. You have to agree, Greg. That's really amazing. If he does go back and it takes a while for him to get up to the bigs, what he has done thus far is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and Joe, I'd love to get your opinion on this, bring him along slowly kind of thing, as opposed to, just throw him to the wolves and see if he can float. Terrible mix of analogies there, but would be interesting to just hear from you. Are you one of those guys that, says, hey, let's throw him in there and let's see what he can do? Or do you like to bring those kids along slowly? Because you had the same type of thing when you would bring in a prominent freshman, did you just throw him in?
Well, I know one thing. He has pulled over in his automobile. I think he's finally got it figured out.
I'm here.
All right, good deal, Coach. So go ahead.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Story of my life. I expected it. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, hey, Joe, good morning.
I just got out of church.
I get it.
Good
It's
thing.
all good. Go ahead.
Hey, Joe, the question is, with Connor Griffin and his, bringing him along, should the Pirates be in a situation? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you throw this guy in there in the major leagues and just let him sink or swim, or do you try to bring him along slowly, make him go through those progressions through the minor leagues, or at least a minor league stop or an additional minor league stop, and what would be the best developmental system for him?
Well, I think, in my personal opinion, that's a big leap, right? And he's proving it in spring training, obviously, but I don't know. I mean, personally, I think maybe let him kind of get into the minors a little bit more and get a little bit more experience, and then transition him later in the year. But, I mean, the talent is incredible. He's a specimen. I mean, just his physical size and his strength and his capabilities are so impressive. And when you listen to him, he's very mature, for his age. The last time I saw somebody go from A to the major leagues was, I believe it was Jose Guillen. Went from Erie, short season A, to starting right fielder for the Pirates, and that was kind of bumpy. But I mean, I personally think that it's a easy way. I think he's going to step up and be a great asset for the Pirates at some point.
Joe Giordano is here. He's going to join us throughout the baseball season when his schedule permits at this time each and every week, so we can stay abreast as far as our Pittsburgh Pirates are concerned. And there are some players that I want to ask you about, but you just sent me a text earlier saying, yeah, they are showing promise, no doubt. But one of the things that I saw recently on MLB Network is that the Pirates may be considering trying to get him a contract now worth about $25, maybe $30 million. You being an agent, and you know talent, and obviously the coach knows talent from his days at Pitt and doing what he does every day at IMG. If you're the Pirate organization, do you try, even though you really haven't seen anything yet at that major league level during the regular season, if you can get him inked to a $30 million deal that's going to secure him with you for the next handful of years, do you get it done? Greg?
Well, let's be a little bit more specific. That's $25 to $30 million per year for 8 years. And Major League Baseball, that's guaranteed money. So you're talking roughly or close to $200 million, and you're really only buying out 2, maybe 3 years of free agency. So whether that's worth all that money or just keeping him under lock and key, no one knows what the new collective bargaining is going to bring as far as keeping him down there. So I personally, I got to see him a little bit in the major leagues before I take that job.
We were talking guaranteed contracts unless that changes with the new collective bargaining agreement, and I don't think anybody thought I was talking about $25 million over 5 years, because this kid's got talent to get $25 million per. What about you, Coach? Would you give him that kind of deal yet, or do you need to see more seasoning?
Well, I think from a business standpoint, I tend to agree with Greg that, you want to see it. I mean, obviously the talent is there. But the way the Pirates have been in the past, are they going to pull the trigger on that big of a contract in this scenario? Obviously things are changing. They've been very aggressive in the off season and spending some money, but I think from the big picture, I'm looking at it saying there's no doubt in my mind that I probably want to see some productivity, but soon after that, pull the trigger.
All right, let's get through some of these players real quick, then I'm going to let you go. And again, Joe will be with us each and every week to kick off the show. We talked about Griffin, obviously. Everybody knows about Skeens. O'Neill Cruz homered yesterday, so let's throw him in the mix, and we'll let Greg jump in here too. Bubba Chandler and recently acquired Marcell Ozuna. So give me some thoughts on those players, please, Joe Giordano.
Well, I think, again, adding those bats to the lineup is really exciting. I don't think that, how many times did Skeens go out and pitch really well, and the offensive productivity of the Pirates was coming up a little short. And I think he's in a great spot, and the rotation looks pretty solid. And I don't think those 1-0 games are going to be as often this year. And you're protecting some guys in that lineup, and you have some pop in there. I mean, from my perspective, just on paper, when you're putting a lineup together, you want to have people that are in each position that are complementing the guy in front and potentially protecting the guy behind, and to use those together to produce some runs. And I think the Buccos have that. And that's why, being a Pirate fan my whole life, I'm pretty excited to see how this plays out.
Hey, Joe, I'd be interested on your thoughts on Cruz. Now, it was nice to see him hit a dinger yesterday, kind of rounding back into form. I think I'm wondering if that All-Star game, home run hitting derby, home run contest that he had last year, he never kind of resurfaced after he had that, whale of a performance there, almost reminiscent of the tailspin that Jason Bay went into dozens of years ago with the Pirates once they went to that home run hitting contest. I think if I'm the Pirates, that's kind of a jinx. I'm not letting any of my guys participate in that thing anymore.
Yeah, that's certainly, they're tweaking their swing just a little bit, elevate the baseball, get it out of the ballpark. But, he's got a smooth swing. It's powerful. And, I think that the most important part of being a successful hitter, I heard this from one of my colleagues from way back, Greg Manasotis, who was the head coach at North Allegheny. And he always said, hit the ball where it wants to go, right? So major league pitchers know how to pitch it. And if you're trying to hit a ball out of the ballpark on a pitch that isn't supposed to go out of the ballpark, that's when you have a lot of swing and misses. But depending on what he's expected to do, hit the ball to all fields and let it rip and be a productive hitter. That's one of the things that I think we've seen in the past is, are we going to put runs on the board based on productive situational at-bats all the way up and down through the lineup?
All right, one more from Greg.
That's my opinion.
One more, Greg. Go ahead.
Joe, your comment brings up to mind something that I always wondered. When the shift was permissible, we would often see teams shift to play a guy to pull and then pitch everything away. And that always seemed counterintuitive to me, that if you're going to shift a guy, then make the team hit into your shift. Does that make sense? Or were you guys like you wanted to pitch away from his power?
Well, I was always an advocate of pitch to a pitcher's strength, not to a hitter's weak. You know what that is. But if you feel as the skipper that the pitcher you have is doing a much better job, rather than exploiting a hitter's weakness, then that's what you do. But the amazing thing to me was when we saw those shifts, how some hitters could not adjust and go opposite way with all of that green and dirt on the opposite side of the shift.
Hey, Coach, I'm so happy and appreciative that you're going to do this when you can. Hopefully it'll be every week, just for a segment, just to kind of use some of that baseball knowledge and tie it into our Pirates. And let's just hope they can bring us some of the belief that we think we're going to see in a positive way this year. So thank you. Enjoy the sunshine in Florida, and we'll do it again next week, okay?
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, you and I a little bit more Pirate baseball on the other side. Then we'll get ready to talk to Ty Ballou. A lot of NFL draft as we move forward to the draft, which begins April 23rd here in Pittsburgh, and the Combines obviously concluding in Indianapolis. And we got some Penguin stuff to get to, so stay right where you are. Cruz Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. I've been a customer for over a decade. Why? Because the professional work CertaPro Painters does protects your home, quality paint, worry-free process, free estimates. That's why I've relied on CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Larry Older here. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is hearing real stories like that of Sandra. She tells us, I've been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, and I finally decided to try it because nothing else was helping my back pain. I know the feeling. With a 3-week quick start, she said, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. That's Sandra's own words, and it's so gratifying to hear. I've told you about my brother Kirk, having difficulty going up and down the stairs in the morning. He wouldn't listen to me. I told him to take Relief Factor. He finally did. Began moving better, feeling stronger. Too bad he didn't listen earlier. Try it for yourself. The 3-week quick start. And see how Relief Factor could be your game changer, too. It is only $19.95. Think about it. Do the math. Less than $1 a day. So, call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com, all one word, relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
Julian Gray Associates has the most certified elder law attorneys of any law firm in the nation, right here in Pittsburgh. They also have experienced social workers so that you can prepare a plan to age with dignity that you can afford. Visit grayelderlaw.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, Greg and I a little bit more in the way of baseball, and then we'll get ready to talk to Ty Blue and what the Bond of Brothers cereal is all about, obviously being produced by PLB Sports for a really great cause and timely cause as well, too. So that's coming up, and then Ray Fittipaldo, top of the hour, we'll start talking about the combines and the upcoming draft and a whole lot more. I think it's safe to say one of the things the Pirates have been missing in their lineup will be a part of the lineup this year, and that's being able to hit the ball out of the park with some consistency, you would hope, right?
Yeah, that's what we're really looking forward to is some of those bangers being able to produce like we anticipate that they will. But I personally am looking forward to the return of Cruz because he doesn't have to just be the man. So, having him back as their everyday center fielder and being productive like we think he can be, I think he's one of those guys who can be a 30-30 and 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. And if you get that out of him, that's going to be a lot for us also.
A big part of Pittsburgh's history is the new Pittsburgh Courier, which we have available for you at the Coons Market on Highwood Street and Beulah Road. I mean, going back to the days with Josh Gibson, obviously Homestead Grays, and all the wonderful things that Bill Nunn, who worked there, the historic colleges, black colleges and universities, and bringing in all those great players of the 70s. But a very special thing has happened for another brand that is so popular by not just me, but so many here in Pittsburgh, and that's WAMO. So I got Rob jumping in here real quick, and he kind of said to me earlier today, hey, thanks for giving Brother Marlon a little bit of love on the social media page that they have, the new Pittsburgh Courier. I told him this guy's got a voice. If I could just borrow it for a couple of weekends, I may actually be able to carve out a career for myself. But they had a documentary about a brand that I love and grew up with, and it's right across the hall, part of our Odyssey brand here, and I just wanted to give him a moment to talk about it. So, Rob, welcome, and let's talk about this documentary.
Yeah, it happened yesterday. It's been, quote, documented about this documentary that's going to be coming out. It was done by a former Whammo radio personality named T.J. Johnson. He was featured on the KDKA TV, of course, in the new Pittsburgh Courier. And, Whammo is in so many people's hearts, the employees, the listeners over the decades. So he wanted to create a documentary about it from its early beginnings, back when it was WHOD back in 1948, all the way until 1973, when Ronald Davenport Sr. Purchased Whammo and made it under black ownership, and then all of the incredible things that Whammo did from the 70s through the 80s, through the 90s, 2000s, and into today. And TJ just wanted to create a documentary on it. It was held at the August Wilson African American Cultural Center yesterday on Saturday. A couple hundred people came out. many former Whammo personalities, fans of the radio station. Of course, I was there as well. And the documentary, about an hour long, just had so many touching moments about how much Whammo has really impacted the community, not just the African-American community in Pittsburgh, but all communities, because everybody loves R&B and hip-hop music. And it was just an outstanding documentary just to really, have that stamp, that documentary for a historic radio station that Odyssey happens to have in our building here at Whammo.
Yeah, I really have a special place in my heart. Look, I'm the old one in the room. I used to go to this all-black bar back in the day in Freedom and dance after hours, my friend Scotty Wilson and I, and they had a Whammo celebrity down there one night. And we were scratching and clawing just trying to get to the DJ booth. We didn't make it, but, man, our hearts were pumping so loud, man. We used to love Whammo. We actually used to drive into Pittsburgh before we would actually go to one of the clubs a couple of hours early just so we could pick up Whammo, because we couldn't hear Whammo back in Beaver County. And then as I got into this business, I don't know if you've ever heard of Frank Greenlee. He was one of the anchors years and years ago. And, of course, Eddie Edwards, who I got to know. We were really close. But the guy that a lot of people don't realize who put Whammo on the map musically was Porky Chadwick. And
he was white.
Yes, yeah. So and when I first met him, I'm like, you're white. You know what I mean? But him and I became really lifelong friends, especially when I got into this business. But I'm telling you, man, nobody has kicked it as long. And when you think of radio and the history of radio in Pittsburgh, KDKA and Whammo are really neck and neck. So they've been a big part of this community, a big part of my life, and I want to see that documentary. But tell me about this brother Marlon, man. He was talking about his favorite gospel songs, and I saw it on the New Pittsburgh Courier, which I happened to get delivered to my house. Who is this dude? I'm sure I met him. I think I just met him the other day before I saw this, because he was walking into the building, and he's got that unmistakable David Letterman beard. But that voice, who is this cat?
Well, Brother Marlon, he was obviously part of the documentary. He started at Whammo in 1994, and he had gone by a name of Sean Richards.
Right.
And he had done the weekends, done Quiet Storm, but then he was promoted to the morning show. So Sean Richards was doing the morning show with Whammo with Sly Jock, and anybody who's listening.
Kiki's dad, right?
Kiki's father, yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody who's listened to Whammo back in the day understands who Sly Jock is, the first person to play rap music in Pittsburgh on the radio, Sly Jock. So Sean Richards and Sly Jock, along with Taylor Diaz, they had a morning show called The Breakfast Jam. And then Brother Marlon transitioned onto the gospel side. Yeah, so he started hosting a gospel show on Sunday mornings on Whammo, and he went by Brother Marlon. His real name is Marlon, so he dropped the Sean Richards and became Brother Marlon. And he's had a Sunday morning gospel show on Whammo, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., pretty much every Sunday for the past 20 years on Whammo.
And the reason I don't know, because I'm on the air.
Right, we're on the air. We see him come in, sometimes here on Sunday morning, getting it done.
Well, get that dude to drop in on me, man. I might even get out the collection basket one day. But I can't. So how can people see this documentary?
You know what? That's what everybody was asking, and I think they're trying to figure out, if they're going to put it on YouTube or online, if they're going to have another screening. Right now, I think it's, that the premiere was yesterday, and right now they're just trying to figure out where it's going to be put next. So you can't see it right now in the public. I have to talk to TJ and see when's the next time he's going to be making it available.
All right, man. Keep me in a loop about that. Good stuff.
Yep.
New Pittsburgh Courier, one of the best when it comes to covering this great city that we love. All right, coming up, Ty Ballou, moments away, KDKA.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SNAP to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
For generations, you've listened to us in your kitchen, catching baseball games on your front porch, and ending your day as your bedtime buddy. Now, you can watch us every day on your TV with our new KDKA Radio YouTube page or by clicking on KDKARadio.com. It's presented by Metropolitan Windows. Same great content, more live visuals. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Now dead.
It is 34 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11:30. I'm Rob Taylor. The U.S. military has confirmed 3 troops have been killed, the first American casualties, as U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran entered its second day. Iran's military lashing out with missiles targeting ships in countries across the Middle East in retaliation. Israeli medics said at least 8 people were killed in a strike near Jerusalem. President Trump had warned on Saturday that there could be U.S. casualties as a result of the attacks on Iran. U.S. casualties come after the killing of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah al-Khamenei, who was killed in a major attack by Israel in the U.S. 86-year-old killed in an airstrike targeting his compound in downtown Tehran, the Iranian capital, and about 40 other senior Iranian members of the Islamic regime were also killed that day on Saturday. CBS News reports the Ayatollah's death was assisted by the CIA. They had been tracking the Iranian supreme leader for months. CIA obtained advance insight into a Saturday morning meeting of senior Iranian officials that Khamenei was expected to attend, and that's when the U.S. and Israel made their move, killing Khamenei and the other officials. President Trump has warned that, quote, heavy and pinpoint bombing will continue over the next days and beyond, all part of actions being taken justified as necessary to disable Iran's nuclear capabilities. KDK Radio News Time, 11:31. Next updates at noon. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDK.
Friends, this is Rob Pratt, joined again by John Diagardi of Rome Monuments. John, we've talked a lot about how families should take some time to mourn before selecting a monument. So why do so many people still rush into it?
Well, we're hearing that some folks are under the false impression that they have to buy a monument right away, and even that they have to buy it directly from the cemetery if they want to make sure it will be protected.
And that's just not the case, right?
Not at all, Rob. Rome can design and install a memorial in any cemetery, and no matter which cemetery you choose, our total protection warranty will always remain in effect.
So basically, people should never be pressured into choosing a memorial right away and are never required to buy it from the cemetery.
That's right, Rob.
Thanks so much, John. And folks, you can learn more at RomeMonuments.com or visit one of their 9 area showrooms.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
This afternoon will be a colder one with sunshine mixed with clouds, high 39. Clouds thicken tonight, low 20, while breaks of sun tomorrow at 45. Rain on Tuesday, high 51. For AccuWeather, I'm Bill Dagger, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, splendid weekend. When we get on the other side of it, I'll be back Monday, and we'll talk to you just after Pirate Baseball on a wonderful Monday right here, KDKA.
All right, here he is, Ty Ballou, just off a plane, was down in that Florida way doing some stuff with one of his many clients, Aaron Judge, name dropper. Ty, great to see you back. I know it's been a really whirlwind going back to the Super Bowl. It's been nonstop for you, but never would I ever say no to you, especially about one of your great charitable causes. And this is Bond of Brothers, rather timely after Team USA and Jack Hughes got that gold medal and a particular jersey came onto the ice. So please tell the audience and fill in the blanks what we're discussing. Good morning.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Pittsburgh. Thanks for having me on. Back here in cold Pittsburgh, it was very nice in Tampa for the last couple of days. Well, I think many people know the story of both John and Maddie Gaudreau. Very tragic story that happened back in August of 24, where both brothers were killed by a drunk driver. And anyway, I saw a story that the Columbus Blue Jackets did. They did a video tribute. And I remember seeing the parents of John and Maddie, who were Guy and Jane Gaudreau. And as a parent of 4 children, and Rob, as you know, a parent of a special needs child that passed away recently, it really touched my heart. So I reached out to John and Maddie's agent, who I had never worked with, and I said, I'd like to do something to help. I said, I don't want to make any money on this. I just want to help the family. And we created this product called Bond of Brothers Cereal. You can go to that website, bondofbrotherscereal.com. Or if you don't want to buy cereal, it's fine. You can go to johnandmaddie.org and find out about the foundation. I worked with the family. I worked with the 2 wives, Meredith and Madeline, on the foundation, worked with them to develop the product. And all the proceeds from the cereal go to the foundation, which helps and supports families that have been affected by drunk driving. And also they help families that can't invest in their children or don't have the funds, if you will, for the very expensive sport of hockey to get equipment and so on for them. So incredible family. Meredith and Madeline are incredible women. Meredith was pregnant with their 3rd child when the boys died, and then Madeline with her 1st child, Trip, who was born afterwards. So, and it was we all watched that incredible hockey team, and I think what they did to honor Johnny, and then going up into the stands and getting 2 of the 3 children from Meredith, and it was Johnny's namesake, Johnny Jr.'s birthday that day when they won the gold. So if anybody would like to know more about it, I would just go to johnandmaddie.org to learn more about the foundation. If you care to buy a cereal, it's bondofbrotherscereal.com. And just blessed to work with an incredible foundation, incredible family, and 2 wonderful, beautiful, strong women. And it's just been great to work with them, and hopefully we can do that for quite some time.
Ty, it's interesting the story as it continues, the way that the U.S. hockey team kind of it continued on the legacy of the Gaudreau boys by bringing the children onto the ice after the gold medal game. If you didn't get chills and maybe shed a tear at that, you don't have a heart.
I was crying when they won, just because I remember 1980, and I was the same age as many of those hockey players in Lake Placid. And then when Jack scored that goal, and then when they all gathered down, you're absolutely right. I mean, what a chilling moment. I certainly want to praise the women's hockey team as well. I think maybe they were not quite in the spotlight. They did a credible job. But, for the men's hockey team to bring the sweater out and then to go in the stand to bring out the Gaudreau children, it's hard to talk about. It's such a beautiful moment, which will be around forever. And it just shows, I mean, the hockey players, I'm blessed to work with players in football, baseball, basketball. Hockey players are just, I think, a little bit of a different breed. And not to say that other professional athletes wouldn't have done it, but what a wonderful tribute to the family and to Meredith and Madeline. So it's still chokes me up when I see it. It's just, I have the picture on my computer, and what a great tribute. So.
Ty, I don't know if there's a marketing tie or a connection to this, but a good friend pointed out to me that one of the last cuts from the 1980 U.S. Olympic team was named Jack Hughes. And in the movie Miracle,
Is that right?
In the movie Miracle, they're showing who's the guys that are getting cut, and they're taking their names that are taped above their lockers. They're taking the names down of the guys that get cut, and the name Jack Hughes is the last one that comes off of the 1980 team. And for Jack Hughes to score the game-winning goal in the for lack of a better term, the golden goal, it kind of tying those two teams together was really interesting.
I never heard that story. Thank you. That's a great nugget. That's unbelievable. And boy, Kurt Russell in Miracle, I think I've watched that speech in the locker room maybe 100 times. That speech never gets old, and he does a remarkable job. And even Sullivan in his speech to the team as well too. It's and Rob knows this. I always wanted to be a professional athlete. I was a horrible high school athlete, so there was no going up there. But about 10 years ago, I actually bought an Olympic torch from a collector from the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles, because I think there's no greater honor. I mean, it's great to be a professional athlete, as these hockey players were, but Olympians are just incredible, whether they're hockey, whether they're sprinters, whatever, too. And it's what an honor. And at 26 wasn't quite the same for me, because these were amateur kids against professional Russians during the Cold War. Still, and I have friends up in Canada. I've worked with Canadian players, so I don't hate Canada. Certainly, it's great to beat the Canadians, but it's just an incredible story. And it's fun to see Jack go to these different hockey venues and pull out players from the team and being honored around the country. So
he did Saturday Night Live last night, Ty.
Was that, what? I was on a plane from Tampa to Philly. Don't get me started about the Philly airport. I got stuck in the Philly airport for 2 hours, landed at Greater Pitt about midnight. So I completely, I will look at it. So, and, as Rob dropped a name too, if I could segue, I was with Aaron Judge, who is a client of mine, on Friday. And there's another wonderful guy. If you want another charity, Google All Rise Foundation for Aaron, which is run by his mom, and see the tremendous work. I'm blessed to have worked with people like the Gaudreaus, Aaron, the McCaffrey family. Christian not only won the Comeback Player of the Year, but he's even more proud. He won the Salute to Service Award for the things that he does for military families and first responders. So there's some incredible work that is being done by a variety of players. I wish there would be a story, because we hear sometimes of the negative things, because I know that kind of leads, whether it is just on the news or sports, whatever, too. But there's remarkable athletes like Aaron, like Christian McCaffrey, even Cooper DeJean, who I work with of the Eagles, who supports the Iowa Children's Hospital, Josh Allen. Boy, am I dropping names here, but Josh and I raised over $250,000 for the Ochi Children's Hospital. So a lot of good things happening in the sports. And again, very proud of the country, and, a lot of things going on over in the Middle East right now. So we'll pray for our troops over there.
All right. Listen, I'm going to let you go, but before I do, I got one bone to pick with what's happening in the world of sports. I'm all in on the name, image, and likeness. You have dealt with some of the most high-profile athletes in the world. But when you look at the Winter Olympics, as I was following, as you were following, and you had those professionals like Jack Hughes on the ice winning the gold, so they got the money from the NHL, and they're getting their deals in the communities that they live, like New Jersey for Jack Hughes. What about the people that race the bobsled or the luge or the cross-country skier? Back in the day, it was more than the Wheaties box, but, you'd get a candy company or something. Man, I got to tell you, for the so-called non-traditional stuff that we all fall in love with, meaning the figure skating and the hockey, a lot of those athletes, you don't see them splashed in a magazine or, in some television ad. I saw a couple throughout the Olympics, but man, I hope they find a way to make some money somewhere, but it seems that because the world of sports spinning out of control with money, that a lot of these athletes who work just as hard, and maybe in some cases harder because they are actually holding down a job as well, aren't really having a chance to cash in. And that's kind of sad, Ty.
Yeah, Rob, you know what? They are a little bit more, and I completely agree with you as well. The athletes that do cross country, we will never probably see again. Or you're right, doing the bobsled. I watched more curling in the last 2 weeks than I've ever. I watched that as well. But they are, most of these athletes that we don't see every day, like the Jack Hughes, they have agents. They're getting speaking engagements. They're not getting certainly the money the Lindsey Vonns and the figure skaters and the hockey players are getting, but they are getting some. But these athletes, Rob, also do it for the love of the sport. And I understand there's a lot of money going out there, but you don't necessarily become a cross country skier or even a downhill skier to try to necessarily cash in on fame. So I completely agree. It's a shame. They train as hard or harder than many of the professional athletes, but it's, they're doing it for the love of the sport and the love of the country. So I think they get some great validation.
Listen, I understand doing something for the love of it, but I can also tell you get old someday and your body gets tired. So you got to actually charge some people once in a while. Real quick before we go to break.
Agree.
Go ahead, Greg, quickly.
Hey, Ty, we got to partner up. I got one for you. We get the best curling team. I think it was the ladies that got us a bronze medal, the American women curlers, and we get them together with doing the Janet Maganello at Shadow Lakes is the greatest slider of beer across the bar that I've ever seen. We get her to go and do the Sam Malone cheers thing, sliding a beer can from one end of the bar to the other, but using a curling rock. We can put this together, man.
Listen,
can she hit a target though? Can she hit the bullseye?
When I used to actually have a life, yeah, she did, but that they took that too. Anyway, listen, Ty, have a great day. Thank you, and tell them real quick about the charity, and then we'll let you go. Go ahead.
Well, the Gaudreau charity, again, is johnandmaddie.org, where you can read about that. Or if you're so inclined to buy a box of cereal, all profits go to the charity. We actually send the boxes of cereal out from a vocational center in Missouri that hires handicap and special needs individuals. It's bondabrotherscereal.com. Rob and everyone at KDKA, thank you very much for the opportunity. Love you guys.
All right, stay good. We'll talk to you later. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Stay with us.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Been 30 time, would have been 30, no, would have been 30, being 30, been 29. If that'll help, been 29,000.
Get ready to bid on the equipment you need in the Ritchie Brothers Northeast Regional event on March 25th and 26th. Inventory is housed at locations in Pittsburgh, Northeast Maryland, and North Franklin, Connecticut with in-person inspections available. Bid on a wide selection of construction and transportation equipment. Don't miss this great opportunity. Visit rbauction.com/Pittsburgh to sign up. Again, that's rbauction.com/Pittsburgh.
Suffering from peripheral neuropathy? Learn how over 15,000 sufferers regained their comfort, mobility, and quality of life with Tri-State Neuropathy Center's successful treatment plan that is FDA cleared, non-invasive, and drug-free. Here's Sean Ritchie, DC, and Tri-State's founder about one of their many satisfied patients.
One thing I like about having the most effective treatment protocol on the market for peripheral neuropathy is the stories that we hear. Like Karen from Export, she suffered with neuropathy for 3 years, and it got so bad that she couldn't even wear her normal shoes. In fact, she got rid of them and can only wear Skechers. After going through the program, now she's able to wear any shoes she wants, and she's very disappointed that she got rid of all her other shoes.
Tri-State Neuropathy Centers helped Karen. Let them help you next. Call 724-940-9000 for an initial free consultation. That's 724-940-9000. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy. Learn more at marydanston.com.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
we can be twinsies
to
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, we are back. So before we get to the new news and get Ray in here, you were at the Combines. Look, I enjoy it, not as much as I used to. Used to love when I had my children around, my boys, we used to watch it, but they're grown up now and doing what they're doing. You still think there's a need for viewership of that thing, or do you think that's not really the main reason we have the Combines?
No, there's no need for viewership to it. I think it's the dumbest thing since the draft. I can't watch. If I wasn't in the industry, I wouldn't watch either one of them.
I'm
but
starting
people,
to feel that same way.
But people love it. I mean, it's really something that the analytics nerds really get into watching this and trying to break it down. And it's an interesting gathering. I'll tell you, it is one of the. We were trying to figure out how many people get to Indianapolis associated with the Combine, and we figured it's between 3,000 and 5,000 people that are there when you put together all of the different organizations that have representatives there. Probably 20 plus representatives of each team are there. Then you got 330 players, and a lot of them have their family members come, which is weird because their family can't even see them but for maybe 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. But then you got all of their agents, their financial advisors, people who want to be agents, people who are out of jobs in the NFL and looking to get jobs, so they're out there to try to meet with coaching personnel and things like that. I just wish I had 1/8 of what St. Elmo's Steakhouse makes on any given night at the Combine.
So let me ask you, everybody sees the success stories, and then they kind of look back at a Josh Allen and go back even further when Brady ran the 40-yard dash. How many of those athletes just don't make it?
A lot of them.
That's what I think people need to understand. Yeah.
I mean, for every guy that, you know, Al Davis used to be the guy that wanted the fastest guy at the Combine. He drafted Darius Hayward-Bay out of Maryland, probably 4 rounds higher than he should have been drafted because he ran a 4.2 40-yard dash. Mike Mamula was the legend at the Combine, where he really wasn't that productive in college, had an outstanding Combine workout, ended up being, I think, a 5th or 6th overall pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles. There are guys every year that we will see that run crazy. John Ross was a wide receiver, did the same thing, that wasn't productive at all in the NFL, but people fall in love with that speed and think they can get something out of it. One of the things that's intriguing to me is the guy that usually does the 225 bench press test the most. And sometimes you'll see a guy with throw up a 45 or 48 or some crazy number like that. And that's usually a guy that nobody's ever heard of and then never makes his presence known in the National Football League. I think that more so, at least what everybody tells me, is that what's most important at the Combine is that they run somewhere in the pack. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't run a 6 flat 40-yard dash. Just run something that within your position group is respectable and everybody's fine with it. But then you have to do something good with the interview process. And from all reports, the Mendoza kid from Indiana blew the interview process away. He was just fantastic. Everybody loved him. Everybody loved his knowledge of the game and ability to communicate with them how he would do. And if he's not the first draft pick overall, I will be shocked.
He's going to be. But Drew Aller out of Penn State, I know he's coming back from the ankle injury, but boy, he looked pretty good throwing the football too. I was impressed. But here's what's really happened. These running backs, and I know how you feel about running backs. You know, they're all running the 40. The wide receivers are running the 40. Heavy loaded as far as the wide receiver. And they're rolling their eyes when they hit 4.54. I mean, it's like they all want that 4.3, 4.4. It's like they're depressed, and I'm thinking, my goodness, there was a time, you know, some of the greatest running backs of all time ran like a 4.7, 4.8. But that's that razor-thin margin of what separates good, great, and major opportunity as far as the draft. When you're rolling your eyes and you're 6'1", 220, and you run a 4.53, and you're rolling your eyes because you wanted it to be a 4.4, man, you have to really stress, I got to be great on this day. I mean, I got to be the best I could ever be. And just to be that disappointed over a millisecond or a second, man, I just can't imagine dealing with that kind of stress, man.
Yeah, you remember the old joke about Franco Harris. Nobody ever had an accurate 40-yard dash time on him because he always stepped out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
How about Bo Jackson, who's out promoting, you know, some of the things he's been doing with Men's Health? Love Bo Jackson. So they asked him on one of these podcasts, when did you know you were great? He's 9 years old, and the catcher on a adult team, like in their 20s, got hurt. He was at the game, and he said, I can catch. They said, you can catch, kid? He got in and catched, and the next time he got up at bat, he hit a home run.
Wow.
9 years old. I mean, Bo knows. And, you know, God bless him. He dealt with a stuttering issue his whole life. He's found a way to get over that. Some of the most engaging stories I've seen, and I don't know, maybe algorithms, Bo Jackson may be one of the most fascinating stories in the history of sports, man.
Yeah, it was so long ago that he played, and to still be recognized, if you just say Bo knows, you know you're talking about Bo. That's some staying power there.
And his thing that he loves now, he hunts and fishes, and he loves his kids, and he decided to have his prostate removed because there's cancer history in his family. And that can affect a man for sure. And I think we all know what it can do to a man physically, mentally, and emotionally. He said, you know what? I want to make sure I'm around with my kids and grandkids a little bit longer so I can make the sacrifice now. And I thought, man, once again, Bo knows. Talk about courage. This guy is a courageous individual.
No comment on that, but you remember he caught the fly ball and then like ran up the wall with his feet?
Well, he used to break bats over his legs.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Come on, man. All right, listen, we will, in fact, when he had around 41 time, he told him to open the gate into the tunnel. And they said, why? He said, I'm just going to keep running. All right, we'll come back. Ray Fittipaldo, one of the best, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. We'll talk a little Steelers, and then Greg and I will take it till 1 o'clock. Stay with us.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
So since our Odyssey sports director is in Indianapolis, when Jeff joins us,
I'll only invite about 30 for the draft, maybe a few more to be in person for the draft. The people that live in Pittsburgh will be there, so it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys, you know, show up. And the next big event is in our city.
And we're looking forward to it.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Let's be honest. The hearing aid industry is broken. Overpriced clinics, pushy appointments, bills of $5,000 or more. That's the trap they hope you fall into. Don't let it happen. Audion Hearing is the escape. Their FDA-registered hearing aids cost just a fraction of the big brands, starting at only $98. Instead of paying as much as $5,000 plus all the doctor appointments and wasted time, you get what you need with no prescriptions, no office visits, no time wasted, and no crazy price tag. Call 800-700-HEAR. That's HEAR. Audion's cutting-edge devices are rechargeable, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. Try them risk-free for 45 days with lifetime support and real human help just a phone call away. Over 1 million people have already said yes to Audion Hearing. Join them. Don't let them take advantage of you. Break free from the trap. Call now 800-700-HEAR. That's HEAR for a very special offer. 800-700-HEAR or 800-700-4327.
What if you could buy a flippable, two-sided mattress made with the finest materials that cost less than other luxury brands? This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory, and this is exactly what you'll find with our new Orthos line, available exclusively at OMF. We build these by hand using premium materials like wool and cotton. It's old-world craftsmanship with modern comfort, our most extraordinary sleep system. Built locally at a price other luxury brands just can't match. Visit the Original Mattress Factory and experience the Orthos line for yourself.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 35 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. The U.S. military has confirmed 3 U.S. troops were killed, the first American casualties as U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran entered its second day. Iran's military lashing out with missiles targeting ships in countries across the Middle East in retaliation. Israeli medics said at least 8 people were killed in a strike near Jerusalem. President Trump had warned there could be U.S. casualties as a result of the attacks on Iran. U.S. casualties coming after the killing of Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed in the major attack by Israel in the U.S. back on Saturday morning. 86-year-old was killed in an airstrike targeting his compound in downtown Tehran. About 40 other senior Iranian members of the Islamic regime were also killed. CBS News reports that the Ayatollah's death was assisted by the CIA, who had been tracking the Iranian Supreme Leader for months. CIA obtained advance insight into a Saturday morning meeting of senior Iranian officials that Khamenei was expected to attend, and that's when the U.S. and Israel made their move, killing Khamenei and the other officials. President Trump has warned that, quote, heavy and pinpoint bombing would continue over the next days and beyond, all part of actions being taken justified as necessary to disable Iran's nuclear capabilities. Stay with News Radio KDK for more on this developing story. In other news this afternoon, 1 person is dead following a multi-vehicle crash on the Liberty Bridge. Happened around 1 o'clock this morning. 3 vehicles were involved, one of which was on fire, trapping 3 people inside. Police were able to extinguish the flames and get a man and woman out of the car, but a third person, adult female, was pronounced dead at the scene. She was trapped inside. The person in the second vehicle was not seriously injured. The person in the third vehicle involved was transported to the hospital in stable condition. Cause of the crash is under investigation. A man is in critical condition after he was struck by a vehicle overnight in Beltsuver. Pittsburgh police are investigating the incident as a hit and run. They say the incident happened around 2 this morning on West Warrington Avenue. Police are still searching for the driver of the vehicle that struck the man. A fire broke out at a structure in Canton Township, Washington County on Saturday happened around 7 p.m. in a 300 block of Edgewood Avenue. It took multiple responding fire agencies to put out the blaze. The building was partially collapsed. No injuries reported. And the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette signs on its North Shore office building, they've been taken down. 3-story building at 358 North Shore Drive, which is also home to other offices, has been the Post-Gazette's home since August of 2015. PG's preparing to cease operations after its Sunday, May 3rd edition, although some local groups and foundations have explored options on potentially saving the newspaper. Still, union leaders say the paper is on track to shut down on May 3rd as scheduled. KDKA Radio News Time is 12:03, and we have the AccuWeather forecast next.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Columbia Gas of Pennsylvania is committed to the communities they serve, ensuring that all their customers stay safe and warm in their homes during the cold winter months. To ensure that no one goes without heat when the temperatures drop, Columbia Gas offers energy efficiency and bill payment assistance programs to make their customers' lives easier. To learn more about the valuable services available through Columbia Gas, call 1-888-460-4332 or visit online at columbiagaspa.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
This afternoon will be much colder. We'll see sunshine mixed with clouds, high 39. Clouds thicken tonight, low 20. 45 tomorrow with more clouds and rain on Tuesday at 51. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Bill Degger, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
All right, great to have Ray Fittipaldi back from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. We'll talk some combines, talk some Steelers, and, the draft coming up beginning April 23rd. So, Ray, they're talking about how now the big-ticket item is defensive linemen more than edge rushers. They were really front-loaded with wide receivers, but it always comes back to the quarterbacks. And, I probably was the only one in Western Pennsylvania up last night at midnight watching Aller throw the football and repeat performances from Ty Simpson and Carson Beck. So what do the Steelers do? And somebody, has been saying, and I know Omar was asked the question during the rounds at the combines, maybe Ty Simpson at 21 if he's even there. What happens with this football team? And then you throw in Will Howard and Aaron Rodgers. Go ahead and good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, Rob. Yeah, I think, they will find out this week or early next week about Aaron Rodgers, but they would welcome him back. He had a good experience there, and they enjoyed having Aaron on the football team. So he's your starter if he wants to come back. In terms of the draft, I just don't see them picking a quarterback at number 21. I think there's one first-round quarterback in this draft, and that's Mendoza. Now, if you want to talk about Simpson in the second round, maybe if he falls to there, Drew Aller maybe second or third round. Carson Beck is another name you keep hearing along with the Steelers. So those are some names to keep an eye on. But I would be shocked if they made that pick at number 21 in the first round.
It was good to catch up with you in Indianapolis, and I think I followed you right back down I-70 yesterday. I heard you on the fan, and I think I was about 25 miles behind you trying to catch you.
Yeah, good to see you again, Greg, and it was great to catch up.
Hey, did we get any more information or feedback with regard to Broderick Jones's neck injury and whether or not that's going to be a position that the Steelers are going to have to draft because of maybe his career being in jeopardy?
Yeah, I mean, the career in jeopardy thing is certainly out there, but I would stress, Greg, that we just don't have the information yet. You know, that type of surgery, you're not going to know 3 months out. I think the hope is that they maybe know by training camp that, you know, he's on schedule. And, you know, if he is, then, you know, he could potentially even be your starting left tackle on day one. But they just don't know at this point. So I think for that reason, you know, they're going to have to look at some free agent options, you know, with free agency starting next week. And I think the draft is in play, too. You know, probably not round one. You know, they spent a first-round pick on Jones. They spent a first-round pick on Fautanu. But, you know, you want to try to get a developmental guy with one of your 3 third-round picks. You know, I think that would be in play.
With my old age creeping up on me, the name of the guy that filled in at left tackle, who was a practice squad guy, is not coming to me. But would the Steelers be happy enough to go with him as a full-time left tackle for a full year if Jones can't come back?
Yeah, Dylan Cook played very well for, you know, I think he started 4 or 5 games, and he was good, actually better than good in those games. But, you know, Greg, it's a small sample size, and I think these coaches and GMs want to protect themselves. So if he's not the guy, they have to have somebody else who can fill in for him. But I think I saw enough that convinced me that, you know, he could be the guy. But, yeah, you're going to want to run him out there in camp and see how he does in practices, see how he does in the preseason games. I definitely think he's a potential starter for you if Broderick Jones is not healthy.
Hey, Ray, thank goodness we don't play the Texans more next year because the way that they dominated on those 2 outside edge guys, that was hard to swallow.
Yeah, and you don't have the Seahawks on the schedule this year. You know, you do have the Patriots, but I think the Patriots pass rush is significantly worse than those other teams. But, yeah, Houston they were a bear. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered if Broderick Jones wasn't there. They were going to be a problem for anyone they faced.
All right, when you look at the Steelers roster, Ray Fittipaldi, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, it's all about, you know, getting a little strength to this roster. And those positions, wide receiver, we talked about, cornerback, linebacker, defensive tackle, offensive tackle. And there's been names thrown around like Cooper, the wide receiver. You got Pons, the cornerback, linebacker, Anthony Hill Jr. So when you look at those 5, where do you think they're the weakest and where do you think they need to improve the most, Ray?
Well, I mean, I think receiver is the obvious one. They are so deficient after DK Metcalf. You know, Calvin Austin is a good player, but he can't be your number 2. You know, after that, Adam Thielen is retired. You know, MVS, I don't know if they're going to want him back. You know, so it's just they're just really, really thin there. So. You know, I would expect them to maybe sign a free agent, but listen, don't be surprised if they go heavy in the draft on a receiver. And then right after that, I think cornerback, safety is in play. You know, you talk about that first-round pick. 3 really good safeties that have top 15, top 20 grades, and I could see them going safety as well.
Hey, Ray, Indiana had a couple of actually 3 really quality receivers that they kind of dominated the NCAA last year. One of the guys that we represent, Elijah Surratt, you know, kind of looks like, you know, maybe he can creep up into the second round, and the Cooper kid that is really going to be, you know, probably in the top 10 picks. Did you happen to hear anything about either of them while in Indy?
Yeah, they're interested in both really good players too. Like, I think Surratt might be He obviously is more underrated, but, Cooper's more the first-round guy. I think Surratt is really good, too. So they were just loaded this past year. Signetti did such a great job, not only winning games, but you know how this is, Greg. Like, you got to produce pros, too. Like, if you want to become a destination in college football, you got to churn out the pros. And Signetti has done that. He's got a really, really good class. So I think, both Cooper would be a 21. But if you're thinking Surratt, second or third round, they could do a lot worse if they got somebody else. I think Surratt is a really good and underrated player who is definitely on their radar.
Little tidbit for you guys. Elijah Surratt's first college stop, St. Francis, Pennsylvania.
There you go.
That's why we pay you the big bucks. That gift card at Coons Market will go a long way to get advice like that. Now, listen, Ray, before I let you go, Zachariah Branch, should I be intrigued?
Listen, he's got like a late first round, early second round grade. My opinion, Rob, is he's a little bit like Calvin Austin, kind of that really fast guy, kind of small. Roman Wilson is another small receiver. I think they need a big receiver. I think the Steelers need size. They need speed. They got enough small guys. I think they maybe need to go in a different direction, but I wouldn't be surprised at all with Branch, who played at Georgia, really good level of competition. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes early second round, but I'm not sure if he's on the Steelers' radar.
Hey, Omar said they're going to go back to Freiermuth a lot this year, so maybe they're just going to use that as their big receiver.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they should, right? Like when they use him, he's a really productive player. Listen, he's not George Kittle or Rob Gronkowski or, he's not at that level, but he's a really, really good player. And, Greg, for him to be frozen out of the offense the way he was last year, I don't understand it. And I think, I think with the new OC, with McCarthy in charge, I think that's going to change.
So no way they draft Love out of Notre Dame with that pick at number 21.
No, like even if they lose Kenneth Gainwell, Rob, they still have Jalen Warren.
Okay.
You used a third-round pick on Caleb Johnson last year. I know he didn't have a great rookie year, but you that's a premium pick. Third-rounders are supposed to become starters or contributors. So I think they're good at running back. Maybe one in the day 3, but I don't think first couple rounds. No.
Ray, will you tell this guy never draft a running back in the first round? You can always find running backs.
I took a shot. I knew he was going to say that.
See what happened with Najee Harris, too. Najee Harris, first round, and he doesn't even get a second contract.
Hey, let me go back to Aller for just a moment. I mean, he's coming off the injury. Yeah. He's got the size. He's 6'5". He weighs 228. I like him. You think someday maybe franchise, does he have that kind of ability?
I mean, listen, he's the classic get off the bus guy, and he looks like $1 million. And he's got the frame. You saw him throw. He's got the arm. He can make all the throws. But I think teams are going to have a hard time. We're just wondering why he never performed well in big games. I mean, he played at an elite school against elite competition, and he never really performed well in big games. So, listen, if you can get over that, he's a heck of a guy to try to develop. But I would not sit there and say, okay, this is going to be my next franchise quarterback. I think you bring him in, going to sit a year, maybe 2 years, and then hopefully you can coach him up and maybe you strike gold. But I just don't see him as a first or even a second-round pick. I think somebody might get lucky, take him in the third round, and maybe he can be the guy in a couple years. But I don't think right away.
Ray, you just described Will Howard, don't you?
Yeah, well.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the only difference with Will is he won a national championship.
That's it.
And he performed well. Listen, say what you want about Will Howard. He played well during that championship stretch. He wasn't always great. I knew it. Had a great defense, had a lot of talent around him. But he stepped up in big games. That's just something that Drew Aller never really did.
Well, put it in perspective. Just when you think, you're in the business, you should know what you're talking about. My middle child pops over. My son, Robbie, 26 last night, spent a little time with his dad watching the combines after a long day at work, about a half hour. And, I'm all hyped up on Will Howard for whatever reason I am. And as he was leaving, he kind of turned back to me and he said, Dad, just pump the brakes. He said, if he was that good, he would have went a lot sooner in the draft. So just pump the brakes on Will Howard. But I'm all in on Will Howard. I still think it's worth taking a look at.
Yeah, but you talk about combines hurting someone. Will Howard was horrible at the combine last year, and that really cost him.
It did. All right, Ray, keep up the great work, buddy. We appreciate you.
All right, guys, enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you again.
That's right.
There he goes. Yeah, my son said, Dad, come on now. I don't know. I'm just looking for the next Big Ben, I guess,
Bigger Ben.
I don't know if it's out there. All right, lots more to come. We're going to talk a little bit of everything, a potpourri of sports. And if you want to jump in here, we're going to open the phone lines up. We haven't done that in a while because we've been very guest heavy. And I said, you know what? It's time. When JD from the North Hills calls you at like 5 after 5 a.m. in the morning to get a sports question in, I said, I got to open the phones up this week. So 866-391-1020, Pirates, Steelers, Penguins, Pitt basketball. They won one yesterday.
Yeah, and they beat a team that's actually pretty good. It was hoping to get at least a combine invite, an NCAA tournament invite as an at-large team. So that was an unexpected big performance.
And a job well done by the entire crew here at Odyssey covering high school basketball. Josh, Paul, everyone, thank you from a fan's perspective. It really was a great couple of days and couldn't be more proud of the job that you all continue to do, promoting the best ticket in town, which is high school sports, right here on KDKA. 866-391-1020. It's the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. Recently, the owner of a large mattress retailer was proudly sharing how over 65% of their queen mattress prices are $15.99 or higher. At the Original Mattress Factory, our focus is a little bit different. We build superior quality mattresses right here in town and do our best to save you as much money as possible. That's why at OMF, nearly 80% of our queen mattresses are lower than those prices others brag about. Stop in or check out originalmattress.com to learn more.
Customers often ask, what's the right mattress for me? At the Original Mattress Factory, our answer is always the same. It's all about personal preference. You should select the one that feels right to you because there isn't a one-mattress-fits-all solution. That's why we offer a selection of quality and comfort choices for every preference. And our sales team will help you find the right product for your specific needs. At the Original Mattress Factory, we have the right mattress for just about everyone. Stop by to find yours today.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hola, amigos. Brad Evans here. Check out this booming voice and Pat Boyle on BetMGM tonight, covering the biggest sports stories from coast to coast, live and interactive on the free Odyssey app, discussing NFL offseason news and getting you ready for the madness in college hoops. BetMGM tonight with me, Brad Evans and Pat Boyle, live and interactive, Monday through Friday night starting at 6 Eastern, presented by BetMGM. Always live on the free Odyssey app and watch on YouTube at BetMGM tonight.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, let's just go crazy here, folks. Greg and I talk enough to one another. So why don't you jump on board here? Let's talk about the Pirates. Are they real or not? The Steelers, can they not just compete but maybe win this conference? And Pitt basketball, I know Cal is Cal, but it's a win. But what about the future long term? Is it Coach Capel or not? And the Pittsburgh Penguins, Crosby, should he have played in the Olympics or not? I don't think so. Although I understand why I don't think so. Lots of stuff. Anything else? Let's go. Wall-to-wall phone calls. 866-391-1020. Here's Dave in Wilkinsburg on KDK. Hey, David.
The Pirates cannot. The Steelers could. The Penguins are looking good. Pitt, I really don't know this year. It's too early in the season. How is the Duquesne women's sports program over there at Duquesne University? Is it a good program?
Well, the entire the entire program is on the build. The Duquesne women's hoops team is not what they had hoped to be this year. They did have a win this week at St. Louis, and they played yesterday. I'm sorry, I don't know the result of that. So the hoops team did not do what had been anticipated or had been hoped. They just started they have a lacrosse program that is doing very well. So they're building.
St. Louis gets hotter than here in the summertime. St. Louis, the Cardinals, the old football Cardinals trained well. You know, one time I had to, due to other circumstances, I had to drop out of CCAC South Campus going full time. I had to drop out early. I sort of owed money. I suggested that the loan go to the nurses program at CCAC to build a better nursing corps. If this ties in with Duquesne and Pitt, I hope so.
All right, Dave, I appreciate giving some love to some of those fine places of higher learning, which I attended none of them, by the way, I might add. Oh. School of Hard Knocks, man, but I think everybody knows that. All right, listen, I do want to talk about the Pitt basketball program because we're kind of getting towards the tournament. And B.B. Flannery, speaking of Duquesne, because of you, he'll be with us next week as the Atlantic 10 tournament gets underway. Why is it, though, that Pitt can't seem to get back? Andy Toole's having a fabulous year.
He is.
And I still question why Pitt didn't reach out to him years ago, but that's neither here nor there, or Sean Miller. Maybe they did. Coach Cable comes out of that Coach K coaching cradle, and everybody thought, because he was a great recruiter at Duke, we'd have it happen here. But I'm just going to say because of name, image, and likeness, it's different, and that's why you need, and another guy who I wanted to come here, you need a rebel. You need a Coach Calipari, somebody who knows how to wheel and deal and to get into the pockets of the alum to get the money that you need. And basketball and football are like night and day. You don't have the same type of money. But even when Jamie and them were here and Ben, they had places like in New York they could get a player or two. I don't even recognize some of these players on this team now. So what do we do with Duquesne and Pitt to kind of get them back on the path to where they compete on an annual basis? Maybe they don't win even the conference, but they at least are more competitive during the regular season.
Well, speaking of not recognizing players, I think Andy Toole didn't recognize any of his players when he reported to fall practice this year because that's an entirely new team. Everybody that he had last year had gone either through the transfer portal or had graduated. He's got an entire new unit, and what he has done there is nothing short of magical. He's been fantastic with what's going on at the Robert Morris program. They have now secured, at a minimum, the second place seed in the NEC tournament, or the Horizon League tournament. I'm sorry, the Horizon League tournament. So they've done just a miraculous job. And Duquesne, they have a player named Dave Dixon, Rob, who is remarkable in the sense that he has stayed at the program for 5 years and been extremely productive. I think he's somewhere around, I can't remember the number, 46 wins or something while at the program. That doesn't sound like enough, but it's a number of wins over the period of time that he's been there, and he's kind of a unicorn where he has stayed at the program, and I'm sure he's had other offers, but done just a marvelous job at succeeding at Duquesne. So there are some players like that who will stay around and succeed at programs. These guys get picked off now. There is NIL money that's being paid at Duquesne to players, but it's not anywhere near competitive enough with teams that they will be playing against, and that's something that you're going to have to fight about. You can't just recruit with money, but you have to, at some point in time, have a little bit of dough to keep guys.
Well, here's the thing. They beat Cleveland State yesterday. They're 21-10, second in the Horizon League. They've been lucky. And look, I'm a little biased because we go way back. They're lucky they hung on to Andy Toole.
No doubt.
I don't know who's responsible for that. Maybe he gave him a hometown discount, wanted to raise his kids here, all the things you hear when it comes to sentiment and get out the violin. But they're lucky they kept him here because the way college basketball is and some of these legendary coaches aging out, I could have seen him going to a major program. He really has that kind of that resume. And he just he loves the game, and he just fits doing what he does so well.
It's so many years ago now, but when he had the NIT victory against Kentucky, he was hot. He probably had an opportunity to go at least mid-major at that point or higher in the majors, and then could have parlayed that from there. But done just one marvelous job, and without doubt, in my mind, should be in the Robert Morris Hall of Fame next to Kevin Colbert.
No doubt, no doubt. He's not in the Hall of Fame yet, Kevin Colbert?
I'm sure he is.
Oh, come on.
I said next to Kevin Colbert.
Listen, they can have him for commencement every year. I'd be there. All right, short break. We'll come back. Stay with us.
Hey, folks, it's Marty. NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader. Wow, they're good. They continue to exceed customer expectation. For instance, Charles from Bethel Park highly recommends NASCO. Charles was pleased with NASCO's exemplary customer service and the quality of their work. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Charles. Now's the time to get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO, NASCO.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Are you struggling with hearing loss? Do friends and family complain that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to repeat themselves? If you want to hear clearly again, but don't want a bulky hearing aid that makes you look old, you need to try Atom X by Audion Hearing. The Atom X is a life-changing breakthrough, precisely designed by top audio engineers, fits comfortably in your ear, is nearly invisible, and lets you adjust your sound so you can hear conversations clearly, at home, at dinner, or on the go. And right now, you can try the Atom X risk-free for 45 days. Call Audion Hearing now at 800-295-HEAR. That's HEAR for a 45-day risk-free home trial with free shipping and money-back guarantee. The Atom X is lightweight, rechargeable, practically invisible, and costs 90% less than prescription hearing aids. Don't miss out. Call 800-295-HEAR for complete details. That's 800-295-4327. Hearing for everyone. Audion Hearing.
Y108 presents Odyssey the Night Before, powered by Bowser Chevrolet, starring Jason Aldean.
Hey, what's up, Pittsburgh? I'm Jason Aldean.
With special guests John Morgan and Shane Prophet. Wednesday, April 22nd, inside the Event Center at Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh. You just started, it's my kind of party. We're sitting in a console. All right, now what y'all say we have a little bit of fun. Y'all ready? You can't buy a ticket to this show. You can only win your way in. Full details at Y108.com. Presented by Miller Lite and brought to you by Giant Eagle, Pool City, True Green, and Broken Bow Records.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 36 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Pittsburgh police say 2 people were accidentally shot Saturday afternoon inside of a vehicle in the Hill District. An early investigation revealed that an adult male's gun accidentally discharged in the vehicle while it was in his lap, striking himself in the leg and then another man in the vehicle in the knee. They both arrived at the hospital by private means and are in stable condition. A man is in critical condition after he was struck by a vehicle overnight in Beltsuver. Pittsburgh police are investigating the incident as a hit and run. They say the incident happened around 2 this morning on West Warrington Avenue near Boggs. Police still searching for the driver of the vehicle that struck the man. And a fire broke out at a structure in Canton Township, Washington County Saturday evening. Happened in the 300 block of Edgewood Avenue around 7 o'clock. It took multiple responding fire agencies to put out the blaze. The building partially collapsed. No injuries, though, were reported. KDKA Radio News Time is 12:31. Our next update's at 1. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDKA.
Carpal tunnel syndrome. Heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines.
These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. For more than a decade, I've been working with CertaPro Painters doing great work for me, and now is the time. Get a free estimate, get on the schedule at the right price. You never have to wonder what's next with CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
This afternoon will be a colder one with sunshine mixed with clouds, high 39. Clouds thicken tonight, low 20, while breaks of sun tomorrow at 45. Rain on Tuesday, high 51. For AccuWeather, I'm Bill Dagger, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, splendid weekend. When we get on the other side of it, I'll be back Monday, and we'll talk to you just after Pirate Baseball on a wonderful Monday right here, KDKA.
All right, I will let you begin the third segment of the broadcast. Greg Diola's counselor, whatever is on your mind in the wide world of sports. Go.
Well, how could the Pirates not be on your mind in the wide world of sports as we enter the sunny days of March and the hope springs eternal type things that are happening in light of Sidney Crosby getting dinged up in the Olympics? What the heck are we doing letting Paul Skeens go and pitch in the World Baseball Classic? I just don't get it, folks. But I guess, he wants to do that. Apparently, Derek Skubal from the Lions is going to go out there and pitch, but only start one game and then return to the Lions for the remainder of spring training. I kind of hope that Paul Skeens does the same thing. I understand with the regimen that he follows, the workout program that he conducts, and the way that he maintains his physical presence and upbringing or upkeep should not be an issue for him. But when we get to the end of a season, when we're worried about monitoring his innings and the number of pitches he throws and things of that nature, do we really want him throwing pitches in March in a high impact type of process? I don't know that we do. I'm a little bit concerned about that. I don't mind as much having Cruz go and play for, I think he's playing for the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic. Bigger, high-pressure at-bats for him, I don't have as much a problem with, but I'm a little hesitant, Rob, to see Skeens going to this World Baseball Classic.
Well, I mean, look what happened to Crosby, and who knows? He's out at least 4 weeks. Do you realize all that momentum could be gone? I mean, everything by the time he gets back. And once again, no pun intended, they're limping into the postseason. And this may be the last hurrah. I mean, he's 38 years old. We see Ovechkin playing at a high level. But at that age, in any sport, one day you wake up and the old man's knocking at the door and he's on the front porch. And the next thing you know, he's at the kitchen table making you a pot of coffee. So I'm not a fan of it. And I think one of the reasons why the endorsement money isn't there for these Olympic athletes, because they're all pros. They got money. They're not looking for it. They're not on the phone with their agent like you saying, get me a deal with Hershey Kisses or whatever. let the kids who are in college, let the kids who aren't getting the name, image, and likeness money, let the kid who grew up in Vail, Colorado, who's been skiing since he was 10, give these people an opportunity. Like Lindsey Vonn. Let me just bring this up. I don't follow too many people on social media, and yes, I know she's pretty. I get that. But the whole story is just heartbreaking. And she really did it for the love of skiing and one more opportunity. And if it wasn't for that surgeon being there because her knee being blown out, she could have lost her leg. I keep looking at her every day, and I'm like, I hope she can walk again. I hope she gets healthy again, and I hope she becomes some commentator and makes a bucket of money and finds an opportunity to cut a deal in the fashion world or whatever. To me, that's the essence of what the Olympic athlete is all about. And I remember when they put baseball in the Olympics. Tommy Lasorda took them to the gold medal back in the day. Those baseball players don't need to be doing anything other than playing professional baseball, especially Paul Skeens. And God forbid something happens, we're going to rule the day. We're going to rule the day. And it's a shame because Tommy John surgery has happened to the best of them. We're praying that Jared Hughes could come back and be healthy. My goodness, that would just deflate everything, all the good that the Pirates have done this offseason if something would go wrong and he would get hurt for, 3 innings of baseball.
No, I'm with you, but let me put a little different spin on the Sidney Crosby thing.
Okay.
So there's retroactivity to the injury back to the date of injury. So he really only misses 3 weeks for the Penguins, which is good. And then the other thing is now you've got a fresh Sidney Crosby going into the playoffs.
But
a guy that's well rested.
How bad is the knee?
It's just an MCL. He'll be fine.
Okay.
He'll be fine. It's not even surgical. It's just rehab.
Okay.
Promise.
Okay. All right. Listen,
I'm not a doctor, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn.
My dad, French, Canadian, Quebec. I got it running through my veins. I get it. If it wasn't for Canada, we wouldn't have this great sport anywhere in this country. And if it wasn't for another great Canadian like Lemieux, we wouldn't have Americans from this area like East Palestine, who was born here in Pittsburgh, playing in this Olympics. But I just think if I'm Gary Bettman, I don't want it. I don't want it. Let the kids who are playing at Boston College and Michigan State, Notre Dame, let them represent Team USA. And I guarantee you, if that would have been the roster and they would have won the gold, if you think this splash is big, it would have been a whole lot bigger. All right, here's Anthony out in Oakland. Wants to talk about the Pirates. Hey, Anthony.
I'm really surprised at Skeen's agent allowing him to play because he doesn't have any guaranteed money. If he would have signed a guaranteed extension, like a lot of those young players do, I'd be okay. At least you'd have guaranteed money for your future. As you said, he goes out there and blows his arm out. That could be career ending. So that's just not very, very wise to go out there and play an exhibition. I don't even listen to exhibition baseball that comes on your station because I would rather watch paint dry.
Anthony's the best, man. You're going to get a dose of reality.
You don't get ramped up for the. You got to get slowly get into listening to it, Anthony. You can't just go straight into this regular season. You're going to hurt your ears, man. You got to be ready.
Oh, I love it.
No, I like regular season everything. This isn't 1960s where that's all you had, where you listen to everything from March on. But no, now, no. But I'm just as shocked as you guys on how his agent's allowing him to do it. That's a lot of money to be wasting if you blow out your arm in a needless exhibition game.
Anthony, I know your background. You're a caller to a lot of the sister stations, The Fan and others, and I always enjoy your input into the programs. I'd be interested to hear your take or your expectation on what's going to happen with the Major League Baseball collective bargaining agreement negotiations that are going to happen leading up to the 2027 season.
Oh, they're going to strike. Marvin Miller trained them very well. They will never do as the other sports. And have a wall and a seal, and they're just not going to. They're not going to do it. That's not how they operate. They don't care about that stuff. They like the system the way it is because remember, it was baseball who started the guaranteed contracts when the owners wanted to compete against one another. Before that, there was no guaranteed contract in any sport, but they outsmarted themselves, and now they rule. Because these players learned very well under the best labor executive of all time in sports, which was Marvin Miller.
Does the nepotism issue, followed by the adultery issue with the union leader, impact the negotiations that are coming up?
Well, remember, he's the second exec because the NFL had to oust their guy for shenanigans also. So I don't know who's overseeing what's going on with these major sports. Apparently, there's just too much money going on, and there's no oversight. So it may. I don't know who they could go to, and they always have someone in succession who would handle those things. But that hurts them. But it doesn't hurt the play because the players are the ones who are the motivation as far as baseball. They're not like the football guys where the big stars, once they start losing that money, they ready to get back to work. And baseball, they'll stay out a whole year. They've already proved it.
But it's going to be interesting, Anthony, to see if the strength of the baseball union, which has always been the strongest union of all the professional sports, where conversely with the NFL, which really, there's been labor peace for the better part of in all of when Gene Upshaw was the leader of the union. He had such a great relationship with Paul Tagliabue and followed by Roger Goodell. But it's going to be one of those things where is the strength of the Major League Baseball Players Union going to be able to be maintained, or are they going to be lessened now?
It'll be fine. Like I said, the players are the motivation. When you've got a lot of the movers and shakers who understand the intricacies of why they don't want what you have in the other sports, they'll stick it out. But you know what? The small markets are going to have to put their foot down because at this point, you only have right now in baseball, you only have the Dodgers. So that may really even allow the Yankees and a few of the Red Sox to say, "Hey, man, there's a real disparity here. We can't guarantee $700 million and defer it. We just can't afford to do that." And they wouldn't be able to do it either if they didn't get some of that Saudi money.
So how do you do this, a new collective bargaining agreement where you've got one team that's got, a $700 million payroll? If you have that and you institute a cap that says the most you can spend is $350 million, what do you do with the Dodgers?
Well, that's the point. Well, they're just going to have to get in line. They'll have to get in line. They'll have to let some of their players go because you have with the cap you have a ceiling and a floor, so everyone has an amount to spend. And if you can't build a roster with $300 to $400 million, then maybe we need to reassess the whole idea of sports. Period, because that's just a lot of money, man.
Yeah. Did you happen to see this morning, Anthony, the possibility that the Dodgers go 162-0?
I've heard of that, but you get some injuries, and they'll come back to the pack. But right now, I mean, let's be clear: Toronto had them. Toronto had them. Yep. And circumstances intervened, but it was that was exciting because I was, the Dodgers are the new Yankees of what I grew up with in the 60s. And watched how they were superior to everyone else, winning all the World Series, and now they're the villains. So you get a lot of these other teams want to take them out. So that'll be a good motivation for the whole league and the American League right now.
Hey, when even the Yankees are saying the Dodgers are spending too much money, something has to be fixed in the system.
We've got a bizarro world.
The guy knows sports too. It's amazing.
It's a pleasure to have a chance to talk to you, Anthony.
Okay.
I always enjoy your contributions.
All right, enjoy your show. Good day.
He's great, man. Listen, I didn't want him to tell it again, but it kind of reminds me. You'd see Buddy Hackett on Johnny Carson, then you'd see him like on the Joey Bishop show, and he'd be telling the same joke, but you wanted to hear it twice because it was that good. Every time he comes on anything in the way of sports, he grew up in the neighborhood when Clemente and them. And Clemente and him kind of bonded because he would deliver the paper in the morning.
Okay.
And he'd go in, Clemente be watching the Munsters in the morning reruns, eating cereal, and he would sit and hang out. And one day he's at the playground telling his friends about Clemente, and they're like, you're crazy. Clemente pulls up in a Cadillac, said, "Anthony, you ready to go?"
Wow.
Jumps into a Cadillac. It's much longer, and he tells it much better, but it's a great story.
Pretty cool.
All right, we'll come back. Wrap it up. Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show.
When you need to know, depend on the news leader. At home, in your car, or at work. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM, AM 1020, and KDKA-radio.com.
This is Greg Truzinski of the Original Mattress Factory. Recently, the owner of a large mattress retailer was proudly sharing how over 65% of their queen mattress prices are $15.99 or higher. At the Original Mattress Factory, our focus is a little bit different. We build superior quality mattresses right here in town and do our best to save you as much money as possible. That's why at OMF, nearly 80% of our queen mattresses are lower than those prices others brag about. Stop in or check out originalmattress.com to learn more.
Customers often ask, what's the right mattress for me? At the Original Mattress Factory, our answer is always the same. It's all about personal preference. You should select the one that feels right to you because there isn't a one-mattress-fits-all solution. That's why we offer a selection of quality and comfort choices for every preference. And our sales team will help you find the right product for your specific needs. At the Original Mattress Factory, we have the right mattress for just about everyone. Stop by to find yours today.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SNAP to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Come on. No! It's just a golf lesson, champ. Loosen up. I can't. See that Hyundai Santa Fe? Yeah. I only paid to know Finish up on your own. I gotta run.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offers end March 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
So you're a good Catholic. You don't like my idea about Pope Leo having a fish fry at the Vatican? I think that'd be great, man.
I think that's the best idea I've heard in a long time, man.
Can you imagine?
That would be how popular would that be? You think they could raise some money here?
Well, and Sicily, not that far away, is about fishermen and people that fish for a living because it's surrounded by waters. You get the freshest fish, the best fish on the planet. Have a giant fish fry. Everybody this vacation would line up and buy a fish sandwich from Pope Leo at the Vatican. That would raise a lot of money. We could have some fundraisers and do some good.
Have the Pope wearing what's the yarmulke type of device that he wears on his head, have a Cubs logo on it. He's a big Cubs fan.
White Sox.
Oh, White Sox fan?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's okay.
I'm wrong on that one. I thought he was a Cubs guy.
Say 3 Hail Marys. And you're okay. But
that's going to send me straight to purgatory.
I got to tell you, Coons Market has the best fish sandwiches. I'm telling you, we added walleye this year, and we were down there doing a video live. Frank and I, we were at Hopewell last week. I tried the walleye. It's good. But I told him, if I ever gave that to one of my boys as a meal, I said, that's like a tadpole. They'd be like, where's the other dozen? They'd be eating them like McNuggets. But that haddock spills over that plate. Oh, my goodness gracious, is that good, man?
I haven't had that, but I'll tell you one of the things that's a secret to my knowledge there, which is really good, is their rotisserie turkey breast.
You know what? I was just talking to the boss, Jody Zima, CEO. We need more of those because those are one of my all-time favorites.
They're not always available there, but every time they're in that case, I'm grabbing one of those. They are delicious.
They are. And listen, I've actually put some miles on my car. And I've gone to various stores to try to find them, and I usually do, but sometimes I have to go 2 or 3 before I find it. But I make them. I usually get 2 when they're there.
Yeah, they're really good.
All right, let's finish up with the Pirates. Why not? We got a lot of time to talk about football. I'm also excited about their bullpen. They got some people like Montgomery and that can really throw some heat. You realize we have a pitching staff that many Major League Baseball teams have to finally be saying. Finally be saying that the Pirates are a team that you have to consider. Some of their biggest detractors that I have listened to on the MLB Network and through the years are actually saying the Pirates have added more punch to their lineup. They have a flame-throwing left-hander now out of the bullpen that can slam the door shut. I mean, we're actually starting to get some good PR.
Yeah, what I didn't realize is that when they got Montgomery is that he is the second hardest throwing left-hander in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't have Chapman anymore, but we got darn close. And to have that as you know, a lefty-righty combination in late innings, which finally may be something that we need to start considering is being able to, you know, match up in late innings as opposed to just giving a guy a full inning to go. And it's going to be interesting to see how Donnie Kelly uses that bullpen. Is he a guy that's going to be more concerned with the lefty-righty, even though you got to have the 3 outs, you know, each guy has to face at least 3 batters and that type of thing. How he mixes and matches that combination late in games, it's going to be fun to see, you know, does he have that ability, because this is the first time he's handling a team for a full season and have his own mark on the team. That will be another aspect of what he has to control. One thing that I don't know the answer to, Rob, is Jared Jones back? Has he been throwing in spring training, and what's he been doing?
Yeah, that's a concern for sure. But, you know, I've been thinking a lot about Pirate pitching of late. You know, we've had some really great pitchers through the years. I mean, I was even thinking about Scurry and John Smiley and John Candelaria. I mean, we really have had some. I mean, going back in the day, Doug Drabick came in, did very well for this team. We've had a lot of success in the way of pitching, and we still do it to this day. You look at Tyon and others and Cole around the league. We've really had a nice stretch with pitchers for some time with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, you talk about some of the relievers. We've had Goose Gossage and Jim Gott and, you know, back to the Dave Justy era, and we obviously just lost Elroy Face. There've been a heck of a run of pitching.
Well,
in
you know, another kid I think about all the time, and I don't know why. I'd love to see him one more time, shake his hand, God willing. Donnie Robinson, you remember him?
Yeah, the West Virginia product.
Wasn't he like 18 and he made it to the big leagues? I think it was pretty quick.
He was young. He was very young. So was Bruce Keeson.
Yeah, he pitched the very first night game in World Series history.
Yeah, and
then he got a helicopter and got married.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, you were a kid. How do you remember that?
71. I was at the first night game in World Series
history. And you saw him pitch.
I don't remember that. I remember Clemente hitting a ball that I thought was a home run. It was a foul ball into the dugout or into the bullpen, but I thought it was a home run.
Listen, I love talking about the Pirates. And I'm excited about Horowitz, too, this year. I mean, I don't know why. He showed me a little bit last year, but I think he's going to be much needed this year to kind of continue defensively, but also get the bat going. But I really think they can hit the long ball. And you've got O'Hearn in there now and Ozuna. I'm really buying in on this team. The other question, only because I love him, what's going to happen to Andrew McCutchen? Is he going to play somewhere?
Unfortunately, I don't think so. I think that he's done, and it's a shame that he didn't get a chance to have that, you know, trip around the league, kind of, you know, thanks for the memories type thing. But I love. He's been wonderful, and what he did for the Pirates organization over the years has been fantastic. But I don't think there's a place that he fits with this team now. This team has, you know, much better options at designated hitter than what he's able to provide anymore, and he can't play the field. He can't throw.
You know, Joe Giordano mentioned a player earlier today, and I didn't really want to bring it up because I was trying to get a lot in with him of contemporary stuff. But I remember Jose Guillen, and when he came up, they actually kind of, I saw him throw the ball. I actually got a chance to meet him up close. I was down on the field one day, and this was long before the game even started. And I was in the dugout, and we were just chopping it up. And he was, like Clemente, he was small, maybe 5'10", something like that. Goodness gracious, he had a world of talent. He ended up bouncing around playing for all these different teams, so you just never know, man.
Yeah, he was a wonderful fielder. Never hit the way that they anticipated that he could, but he was an interesting prospect. Joe Orsulak was another guy that had a big time arm out there.
Listen, goodness gracious, I think of some of these players that came to Pittsburgh and played when I was growing up and obviously in this business, and he's not in the booth anymore, but a lot of people don't know how great of a pitcher Steve Blass was before everything went wrong on him. This guy won 2 games, went 9 innings in the World Series in 1971. That guy could throw the baseball back.
And he still has it as far as being a broadcaster. He's done some of the spring training stuff with them.
He needs to find
be
a way.
back in there. He's
they
too
could
good.
Zoom him in. Do the internet. Do something. Because he's such a great storyteller. And Greg Brown is great, and Joe Block. And by the way, some of the national games, they're going to use people like Walk and that. So that's a cool thing. But I also want to take time to wish Joe Block a happy birthday today.
There you go. Happy birthday, Joe.
He's got one of them baseball voices, too.
Yeah.
Lanny was great. The Gunner was great. Nellie King, great. Milo Hamilton. We've had some really good voices of our Pittsburgh Pirates. Hopefully, I'll hear this before much longer. Pirates win the pennant. Pirates win the pennant. Hey, listen, what's on the menu today? Do you even know?
I think we're going to do some, my dad's favorite is Spam. I think I'm going to do some Spam sandwiches for him, and then I don't know what we'll figure out for the rest of
Do you fry that up or just give it to him right out of the can?
No. We fry it.
I like it right out of the can. All right, stay with us, folks. I'm here all week. We're going to be covering that military intervention war, they're even calling it, in Iran all week. That's one of the many stories. So I hope you'll join me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 6 in the evening until 10, and all of my colleagues throughout the day and night at KDKA. Rob's next with the news. Have a great Sunday, everybody.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert.
So since our Odyssey sports director is in Indianapolis, when Jeff joins us...
I'll only invite about 30 for the draft, maybe a few more to be in person for the draft. The people that live in Pittsburgh will be there, so it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys, show up. And the next big event is in our city.
And we're looking forward to it.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for moms.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Been 30 time, would have been 30, no, would have been 30, being 30, been 29. If that'll help, been 29,000.
Get ready to bid on the equipment you need in the Ritchie Brothers Northeast Regional event on March 25th and 26th. Inventory is housed at locations in Pittsburgh, Northeast Maryland, and North Franklin, Connecticut with in-person inspections available. Bid on a wide selection of construction and transportation equipment. Don't miss this great opportunity. Visit rbauction.com/Pittsburgh to sign up. Again, that's rbauction.com/Pittsburgh.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding. Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company. Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 36 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. One woman has died following a multi-vehicle crash on the Liberty Bridge from overnight. It happened around 1 o'clock. 3 vehicles were involved. One of those was on fire. There were 3 people inside the vehicle that was engulfed in flames. Police extinguished the fire, were able to get a man and woman out of the car, but a third person, a woman, was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, the person in the second vehicle was not seriously injured. The person in the third vehicle was transported to the hospital in stable condition. Cause of the crash is under investigation. A man is in critical condition after he was struck by a vehicle overnight in Beltsuver. Pittsburgh police are investigating the incident as a hit and run. They say the incident happened around 2 this morning on West Warrington Avenue near Boggs Avenue. Police are still searching for the driver of the vehicle that struck the man. Pittsburgh police say 2 people were accidentally shot Saturday afternoon inside of a vehicle in the Hill District. An early investigation revealed that an adult male's gun inside the vehicle accidentally went off while it was in his lap, striking himself in the leg and another man in the vehicle in the knee. They both arrived at the hospital by private means and are in stable condition this afternoon. A fire broke out at a structure in Canton Township, Washington County, Saturday evening. It happened in the 300 block of Edgewood Avenue around 7 o'clock. It took multiple responding fire departments to put out the fire. The building partially collapsed. No injuries reported. Well, the U.S. military has confirmed that 3 U.S. troops were killed, the first American casualties as U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran enters its second day. Iran's military lashing out with missiles targeting ships in countries across the Middle East in retaliation. President Trump had warned on Saturday that there could be U.S. casualties as a result of the attacks on Iran. Casualties come after the killing of Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed in a major attack by Israel in the U.S. back on Saturday. 86-year-old killed in an airstrike targeting his compound in downtown Tehran. About 40 other senior Iranian members of the Islamic regime were also killed. President Trump has warned that, quote, heavy and pinpoint bombing would continue over the next days and beyond. He says all part of actions being taken justified as necessary to disable Iran's nuclear capabilities.